Hello, everyone. I thought that this was the best option for us at the moment because tomorrow it's Friday, and I know that some of you won't be able to make the lesson, so that's why we've canceled the lesson. And I figured out that the best way to do this would be with a PowerPoint presentation about everything you need to know about Olympia. Uh, don't mind the cable behind me and the bags under my eyes. I'm a bit tired, but this should be okay. I don't know how long the video will be. I'll try to keep it short so you don't have to spend a very long time um, watching the video. In this video, I'll go through everything you need to know, the basic things. This is just to get you started so you know what you're doing on Saturday and Sunday. But in the future, we could prepare about it in more detail, not just for this competition, about competitions in general. Right, I'll share my screen now. Right, and you can see the first thing I've opened. The first thing I've opened is the schedule. Everyone should have received the schedule on their email, the emails that you provided during the registration. And it says that it's on the 28th and 29th November. Now, that's the correct date, which means that the competition will take place on Saturday and Sunday. Don't mind this part over here. They've made a mistake and they wrote that the date they've written is the 21st and 22nd. That's obviously a mistake. I don't know how that slipped um, away. Right, so you can see the complete schedule on Saturday and Sunday. I know that it looks that it's going to be very time consuming, but it won't because there are very long breaks. And you can see that at 9 o'clock, the opening ceremony starts. I think it would be a good idea for everyone to attend it because they might tell you some useful tips. Then there is a very big break of half an hour. Probably that's enough time for you to have your breakfast. And then you'll start with the team challenges. The first team challenge is the impromptu challenge. Then there's a lunch break. Then the pen down challenge, another break. And then eventually it's the Speechcraft challenge. So there are three different team challenges on Saturday. And I think that although the first day ends at 4:30. I don't think that you'll be so exhausted. The second day, you can see that the knowledge challenge will take place first from 9 o'clock in the morning, another break. Then there is one more session for the Team Spirit Challenge. Now, the Team Spirit Challenge is the one with the clickers. I don't know if you guys attended the presentation organized by the organizers, but I'll make sure to explain all challenges in detail in the following in the rest of the video, right? And then there is a huge break. There is a huge break from about 12 o'clock until 7 o'clock p.m. So at 7 o'clock they'll give you the scores. They'll, if you've won a medal, they'll send you a digital medal and a certificate. And I know that most of you would rather get money as a prize, but this is not how it goes. The certificates are actually very important when it comes to applying for high school because it shows that you were an active student and that you took part in activities like this. So this is the schedule. Everyone should already have it, as I said, should have received an email with the schedule, and not just the email. The second thing I'm going to show you, the second thing that I'm going to show you is this. This is my email, but you should have received the same thing. So there are different links for different separate rooms. The main hall link, the challenge room, there's one link for the pen down and your knowledge challenge link. Of course, there is a Who's Got Talent, but I don't know if anyone from our school applied for that. Now, if you need more information, you could always find it on their website. You have everything that you might need over here. If you scroll down over here, almost at the bottom, you can find the team challenges in case you find my explanations insufficient. And you can find, of course, the resources. Please bear in mind that when you go to the resources, you should choose your age category. And then when you do that, let's say that you're an Owlin, when you press that, you should go to the local round. So it's the blue box, and when you press that, uh, you'll get all the resources that you need for the competition. Now, to be honest, I hope that you've already done this part because it might be a bit late if you haven't. But don't despair. Nothing's lost because you could cover most of them. Uh, the book that's required is Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I've sent this in the group. If someone hasn't received it, please send me a message. I will do my best to send it to you. There are two films that you need to watch: Toy Story 3 and The Penguins of Madagascar. There are three videos that you need to watch, three articles that you need to read, and three people you need to do research on. Of course, the materials change according to the subject you've chosen, and that's the beauty about it because everyone will have a different perspective of looking at the theme this year. Uh, Take my advice. I think this is quite important. Uh, you should write things down. Take a notebook, and when you watch the videos or when you read the articles, please write things down because you will have that notebook in front of you at all times. So you will have it in front of you for the debate, for the speech, for the writing part, and I think that they will come very handy when you are supposed to give an example. Now I will move on to my presentation. I'll just start the slideshow. Right, well, we need a title, Olympia. And I just wanted to say that there will be individual and team challenges, which means that for some things you are assessed individually, and for some things as a team. So I think that you should try to do your best both personally, but as also as a team member. Don't drag your team down. And every year there is a general theme of the competition, and all the resources will be connected to that theme. Not just the resources, but the questions as well. This year the theme is teamwork achieving together. What does that mean? It means that the debate during the debate, the topics that you will get, or during the impromptu speech, the impromptu challenge, everything will have to do with teamwork. So that's something that you have to have in mind because it will help you predict what the questions might be. Going on, now I will explain all the individual challenges. We'll start with the knowledge challenge. Um, as I said, you have already received the links on your email, and there is a specific link that will take you to your room for this challenge. Um, Everyone will get a different multiple choice quiz, which means that you'll have to choose only one answer. And 100% of the questions will be taken from your favorite subject. So if you chose art and design, all the questions will be art and design. I think that there will be about 50 questions, and you have 45 minutes, which means that you have about a minute for each question. Some of them might be a bit easier, some of them might be quite difficult. It's very important to say that no one is allowed to help you. I don't expect your parents to sit behind you and just read you the answers. That would be weird. It would beat the point. What's the point in competing if your parents are doing that for you? And I think it's very important to note the last part over here, um, that it doesn't matter how many questions you answer, but because some of the questions are more difficult and they will get you more points, and some of them are quite easy and they won't bring as many points. Moving on to the pen down challenge. Now this happens to be one of my favorite challenges and one of my favorite things to compete in, because a pen down challenge is just a fancy name for a writing section. Now, you are not limited on the text that you're going to write in terms of the genre. They don't tell you you must write an essay. You choose what you want to write. And the thing is that all the writing topics will be connected to the theme, to this year's theme. But the whole team chooses only one, because this is a team challenge. You'll be working on this together. So when you pick one of the three topics, you will have a very long time to prepare for this. And you will, at the beginning, you'll have 30 minutes to brainstorm ideas. So you will be asked to talk to each other and try to find good arguments, to try to write something interesting. And the best thing is that you have full access to the internet. So you are allowed to do research on the internet or open your notebook. And as I said, if you were diligent, organized, and you took notes for the most important bits of the resources, then it shouldn't be a problem at all. Now, when those 30 minutes finish, you will have extra 40 or 45 minutes to write it. Now, as I already said, you will have a special link just to take you to the location where the essay or the story will be written. It's a Google open document, I think, which means that when you finish writing it, you will write it digitally. You don't have to write it in hand and just take a photo. No, the moment you write it, you can submit it, and that's it. So, which means that you don't really have to pay attention to the handwriting. That would help me a lot. As I said, you are allowed to write anything you want. If you're good at poetry, write a poem. That's wonderful. If you are good at writing essays, a paragraph essay would be amazing as well. Or if you think that a story would be the best way to get a lot of points, do that. The thing is that you have to really balance every individual style, because let's say if, I don't know, Bob, Jack, and Julie are one team. Probably all of them would have a different style of writing. Some people are more creative, some people are more formal. So this is going to be quite challenging in that regard. You will have to find a way to collaborate with each other. I don't think it would be a good idea to just let one person do it and for the others to relax. Please don't do that. Uh, One important thing is that you are not allowed to copy paste bits from the internet. Do not take a whole text from the internet and just paste it on the document, because they will check that. The reviewers, the judges will check that, and if they see that you've done that, you will be disqualified. You will get no points for this challenge. And what's the point in cheating on a competition like this? This is not an exam. I mean, there's no point cheating in exams as well, but for competitions, it's really absurd. Why would anyone do it? You have 2 pages in total that you can use to write a story or an essay. I suggest that you write at least 1 page. If you write less than that, I don't think that you'll be able to express yourself. And having about 70 minutes to write a text, I think it's perfectly enough to fill at least 1 page. These are at the bottom. You can see the scoring criteria. So content, what you are saying should be on topic. It should be interesting. Then organization, how you've organized the whole story or the essay. Now, if you're writing an essay, you know that each paragraph goes into. I mean, each idea or each perspective goes in a different paragraph, separate paragraph. But the same is true for stories as well. Don't just write one chunk of text, like just put it there. No, try to make it easy for the try to make it easy to read for the judge, so he can give you a lot of points. Development refers to how the story develops. You need to start slow, and then you have to really go to the peak. You can't start with, I don't know, and Nicola did the project successfully. No one would, that's not a very good beginning. You have to start with some kind of a challenge that was overcome. Grammar is very important. Please don't make any mistakes in terms of grammar, and be creative. So because that gives you 15% of the whole score. Legibility refers to the fact if it's easy to read or not. But because you're typing the whole thing, you won't have that problem unless you use a different font or something. But why would you do that? And the overall impression is 10 points. Right. So if I need to summarize this, my biggest advice is for you to try to work together and try to blend in all your different styles into coming up with something that's perfect. Moving on to the next challenge is the impromptu challenge. I think that we spent some time practicing this. I don't know if anyone missed the lesson. That's why I would like to explain it one more time. So everyone will get a random topic. Again, the topic is connected to the theme. But the good thing is that you will have 60 seconds to prepare a speech. And during those 60 seconds, you are allowed to speak to your teammates so they can give you ideas. Because when we were practicing during the lesson, you guys felt very comfortable because we've known each other for quite some time and you don't feel under pressure when I'm in front of you. But for the competition, there will be judges from abroad. So there might be someone from UK, someone from France, who knows where they will be from. And you might panic. That's why this is very important because even if you start panicking, your teammates will help you come up with ideas. Um, when you start talking, the timer will also start, and you have up to 2 minutes to speak. The thing is that if you speak over 2 minutes, you will lose points, and if you speak less than 1 minute, you will also lose points. The idea is that if you speak for less than 1 minute, it means that you didn't really pay a lot of attention to the details, you didn't explain it properly. But if you start talking too long, it means that you don't know how to express yourself properly. That if they left you, you would probably speak for 10 minutes. One of the good things is that the judge will show a 30 seconds left sign um, on that mark, so you will know how much time you have to finish the speech. The scoring criteria are: was the presentation structured and organized clearly? So there has to be some kind of organization. You can't just start blabbering about. You can't just say the first thing that comes to your mind. That's not what a good speech would look like. Um, did the student have an innovative and creative approach to the topic? So you need to try to think creatively about this. And was the student confident with good volume and eye contact? This makes sense because I could I could come up with the perfect speech, but if I'm just looking at the ceiling and I'm talking about something, I don't think that it would sound confident. You need to really be try to be persuasive and to succeed in conveying that message, to getting your message across. Because this can be stressful, I'm going to offer you a template. This is something that you can use for this, and this is something that will satisfy all the criteria that I just mentioned. Uh, I'd like to I'd like to read this and demonstrate. So you would start with blah, blah, blah for two main reasons, blah, blah, blah. First of all, for example. Second of all, for instance, that's why I believe that. The, the biggest tip I can give you about the improvised speech is to immediately think of two reasons how you would answer that question. The idea is that by doing that, you make your speech easier to understand, and the judge will be able to follow you. On the other hand, it helps you because what you're doing is you're telling your brain to focus and to find two reasons. As I said, if you don't do that, it will be very chaotic. You will just say the first thing that pops into your mind, and I don't think that's a good idea. Just to demonstrate, um, I'll come up with a speech. Just let me turn on my timer. Um, right. Okay, we could have any question. Let's see something that would be easy to understand for everyone. Okay, let's say should everyone have a pet? Now, if I start panicking, I won't be able to focus. So that's why I'm going to play a trick on my brain and say, okay, brain, you're my friend, you're a good guy. Think of two reasons. And when I say everyone should have a pet, the first two things that come to mind are that they are a very nice way to relieve stress if you're anxious. And the second one is about, I don't know, responsibility. So I'm going to focus all my attention on those two reasons, and I will adapt my whole speech. I will base it on that. So let me demonstrate. First, there needs to be some kind of introduction, like one sentence. So pay attention to what I'm going to do. I'll start the timer now. So it's a very common question whether everyone should have a pet. And although there are a lot of reasons, I mostly agree with this because of two main reasons. First of all, I think that it's very important to have a friend who's going to be very happy to see you every day in your life. Life's hard, school's hard, and everyone is down once in a while. And I think that if you are anxious or you feel stressed about an exam, your pet will notice that, they will feel that, and they will come to cuddle. For example, you might be feeling really down because of the exam, but once you cuddle with the cat, or a puppy, it will bring a smile to your face. I think that you won't forget about the exam, but at least you will feel nicer. Second of all, I think that pets may teach you about responsibility. For instance, you have to wake up early in the morning to take the dog out so it can do its business, or you have to remember to feed your pet 3 times a day. So you don't live your life carelessly, but you are responsible for another being. And I think that that's a very important reason in someone's upbringing, in someone's growth as a person. Of course, there are a lot of other reasons, but because of these two main reasons, I believe that everyone should have a pet. Thank you very much. So that was 136, which is just enough. So you should go for that 140, 150 mark. I hope this was useful. This is something that you could practice with your teammates, not on the day of the competition, but maybe tomorrow. You could test each other by giving random topics, and I promise you, you could, with this template that I just gave you, you could answer any question in the world. I remember that when we had the lesson about this, someone asked me if a hot dog is a burger, which is a weird question, but I managed to answer it because of this. Moving on to the Speechcraft challenge. This is one of the most interesting challenges. Speechcraft does not, it sounds like something coming out of Hogwarts, like a spell or something like Expecto Patronum thing, but it's not. This is the debate challenge. You already know that everyone is already in a 3-member team, and this is a team challenge, so everyone will be competing against another team. So your team, consisting of 3 people, will compete against another team of 3 people, and you will try to crush them. At the beginning, the judge will tell you the motion. The motion is the title, the topic that you are going to discuss on. A debate, if you don't know what a debate is a very polite way of discussing something, because things are never black and white. There are always things in between. There are different, there's gray, for example. So this is a very nice way to approach the topic and try to agree or disagree with the opposing team. So when the judge tells you what the motion is, you will have 10 minutes to prepare. That means that you will have access to the internet and your notebook that I mentioned. I'm going to mention it again. You have all the resources there. And you can prepare and come up with a plan what you're going to talk about. Then the judge is going to call you and he'll say, okay, who's the first speaker of the affirmative team? Oh, by the way, when the judge tells you the motion, he will say, okay, you team, you're affirmative, you are negative. And you cannot say, no, we don't want to be affirmative, we want to be negative. You don't have a say in that. So you just stick with what you're given. So when the first speaker starts, I'll actually explain this a bit better on the other slide, but everyone will speak in a zigzag motion. The first speaker of the affirmative team, the first speaker of the negative team, second speaker of the affirmative team, second speaker of the negative team, and the third speaker of the affirmative and the third speaker of the negative team. And everyone has up to 2 minutes. 2 minutes, debatable. I don't know if it's enough, but you'll have to manage. Uh, I think you'll do just fine. When you have 30 seconds left, don't worry that the head judge will tell you that he will raise the sign, and you'll know that you're about to you're supposed to finish your speech. The scoring criteria at the bottom are content, which means resources, empirical evidence, creativity, and originality. So try to use resources, try to use specific examples, try to point to specific things. Don't just talk about things in general. Then organization. It's very important that your speeches come together, that they're cohesive, that they make one whole. And the last one is delivery. You need sometimes when you debate, you move you wave your hands to try to be more persuasive, to be more convincing, and you need to use a different tone. For example, I don't know if you've noticed, but that's something I do quite a lot. Because if I talk like this, it would sound like a robot, and you wouldn't be interested in what I'm saying, no matter how useful it is for your lives. See, it doesn't work. No one would like to listen to that. Right. Now, what I'm going to show you next in the slide, this is gold. You should pay me a lot of money for telling you this. A good debate looks like this, like a good burger. Uh, because what you guys are doing, the three team members, you are building a wonderful juicy burger. The idea is that one of you will be the lettuce, one of you will be the vegetables, and one of you will be the patty. So you need different layers because no one would like to eat a sandwich which consists only of 3 layers of lettuce. Who would like that? No one. Or 3 layers of tomatoes. I don't think that's a burger. That's a salad or something. I don't know. So you need variety. That's why I've written over here that you need variety, different ideas. So if we are talking about this, the motion that I just mentioned, everyone should have a pet. All three speakers should try to find a different topic, a different way to approach the topic. So, for example, the first one could talk about responsibility, the second could talk about stress relief, and the third one could speak about what? Uh, what could be the third one? It could be like a sense of belonging, like it's part of the family, let's say. And if you're the opposing team over here, you could say that people shouldn't have pets because allergies, one of them, lack of freedom because if you have a cat, it will keep meowing in the middle of the night and you won't be able to sleep. And the third one is lack of money, right? Because you would need to buy special food or take it to the vet for checkup. So all of this costs money. So imagine if the first speaker talked about allergies, then the second speaker talked about allergies, and the third speaker talked about allergies. It would be unbearable. No one would like to listen to that. So you should try, one of you tomatoes, one of you lettuce, one of you patty. Allergies, lack of freedom, lack of money. You are approaching the topic from a different angle. Very important. Right. So, as I said, when you get the motion, you will be told whether you're affirmative. Affirmative is a fancy way of saying the positive team or the negative team. 10 minutes to prepare, full access to the internet, and open notebooks. And then the first speaker gets 2 minutes. When he's done speaking, the first speaker of the negative team gets 2 minutes, then the second speaker. So it goes in a zigzag motion. Bottom line, everyone gets 2 minutes to express themselves, which should be perfectly enough. Now, what I'll do is I'll explain the roles of the speakers. This is quite important. This is just the basic outline of what the speaker should do. If you're interested in debating, I could teach you much more. We could talk about all those subtle things because debating is really cool. It's not a street battle where you go and say, "Yo, bro, you're not right. I'm right." It doesn't go that way. So this is a very fancy, polite way of talking. And there's so much that goes into it. There are a lot of phrases that I could teach you to sound really fancy, to sound like a gentleman or a lady. And it's not useful only for competitions, it's useful for real life as well. Because if you go out on a date, you would need to be polite. You would need to be able to know what you're saying. Right. I'll stop blabbering now. So this is what the first speaker needs to do. All speakers, the first, second, and the third speaker, start with a greeting. As I said, it's a very polite way of communication. So you need to say, Good morning, dear judge, dear teammates and opponents. It's very important to greet them because what you're saying is, I'm here to discuss things. I know what I'm thinking. Let's see what you think. Then you introduce yourself with the name. My name is Nicola, and I'm the first speaker of the affirmative team. And today's topic is, and you repeat the topic. That's what the first speaker does. And he needs to say, we strongly believe that this is true or not true. What the first speaker needs to do is what's called team split. He needs to announce what the other speakers are going to talk about, so the judge knows that they have the things under control, that they know what they're talking about. So, if we're talking about the thing with the cats, let's say today's topic is that everyone should have a pet. Uh, you need to say, I will talk about pets as an important part of relieving stress. Our second speaker will talk about responsibility, and our third speaker will talk about how cats become part of your family members. Then the first speaker has only one idea, but he needs to divide it into two main reasons. I suppose this might sound familiar from what I explained previously about the improvised speech. Please don't forget that. So you include that over here. He needs to say, well, I think that everyone should have a pet uh, because because they're very important for stress relief. First of all, you will have a friend who will wait for you every single day. For example, when you're really down and you go home, the cat will want to cuddle. Second of all, if you didn't have a good day and you just stayed at home all day long, um, you could go out with your dog. For example, if you needed to take it out in the park, it would also cheer you up, blah, blah, blah. And then you summarize by saying, that's why I believe. Right, moving on to the second. So the reason why for the first speaker is important because he's the one who guides the whole debate. He's the one who sets up the basis, and the second and the third speaker will just continue what he started. The second speaker also starts with a greeting and an introduction. So, good morning, dear judge, dear teammates and opponents. I'm the second speaker of the affirmative team. Uh, we strongly believe that it is true that everyone should have a pet. But this guy, because he doesn't have the team split, as you can see from the slide, he has two ideas. So not one, two ideas. And he divides them again in the same way. First of all, second of all, first of all, second of all, and of course, for example. And he finishes with summary. That's why I believe. Now, for the more experienced debaters, you'll notice that I haven't put the rebuttal or the pre-buttal. This is just a basic outline so everyone can understand because this year for the first time we're letting fourth, fifth, and sixth graders compete, and this is what they need to know. If you are already aware of what the pre-buttal and rebuttal is, please do use it. It will get you a lot of points. And the third speaker also starts with a greeting and an introduction. Good morning, dear judge, dear teammates and opponents. I'm the third speaker of the affirmative team on the topic that everyone should have a pet. We strongly believe that this is true. So he has one idea. He could talk about the fact that cats become part of your family and that it doesn't feel as homely as it would. It feels more homely. Wait, so having a cat makes the whole atmosphere more homely. You feel better being at home because there's a creature running around and just playing with the shadows. I don't know. If your pet is playing with the shadows, call an exorcist. Something's wrong. Then, what the third speaker does is she does the summary. If you remember, the first speaker announced what they were going to talk about. The second speaker had the argument. Now, the third speaker over here needs to summarize what was said over here. So he says, to summarize, our first speaker talked about the fact that they can relieve stress. Our second speaker talked about responsibility, and I talked about the fact that they could become a very important part of your family. That's why we believe that everyone should have a pet. So first, the first, second, third speaker. The first one announces, does the team split, announces what the others are going to talk about. The second speaker doesn't do that, but he has two arguments, and the third one again has one argument, but he does the summary. I hope that's clear. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me a private message. The last thing I'll explain is the team spirit challenge. There will be, I don't know how many questions there are, but you do this as a team. There will be a lot of questions, multiple choice questions from all the subjects that your team has chosen, and you're supposed to click the right answer. Um, every question is more and more difficult, and it brings more and more points. Um, I only suggest that you look in the resources that you've received on your email, because there is a suggestion there that you should download a buzzer. So there is a website where you can get a buzzer, because that's how you answer the questions. You will have to choose between five different options, but you do that as a team, and it's quite interesting. I think that's about it. Yes, that's the end of the slide. So I would like to summarize the whole. I would like to summarize the whole lesson. I don't know if it was a lesson, video, whatever. Uh, the first thing you need to do, check your email for the resources and for the schedule. Don't miss it out. Don't wake up too late, because your teammates might be angry at you. The second thing you need to do and is to go through the resources. If and not just read the resources or watch them, but take notes, because as I said, you'll have your notebook open in front of you for most of the challenges. The third thing is for you to just watch the video, I suppose, a second time, so you can be more aware of what the team challenges are. Right. I won't be a judge on this competition, but I will be online all the time in case you need me. So if something goes wrong, don't hesitate to just send me a message. I'll try to help. Right. I hope this video was useful, and that you will do well. I'm actually sure that you will do well, because you are amazing. All of the people who are competing this year are amazing people, not just as students, but really cool people. So I have very high expectations. Don't disappoint me. Right. So have a nice day.